Okay, so today we got a 2011 Toyota Tacoma that we're going to be putting on a new exhaust. I was going to have the local muffler shop do this, and then I thought, you know, how about order the stuff myself, go ahead and do it for the people out there that don't either have a muffler shop close by or that's trying to save as much as they can. So I was able to order everything I needed off Amazon, and what you got here is you got a pipe and the muffler with the tailpipe. All that part's all one piece. This is two separate orders. You can see what happened here was it just rusted off. The original muffler is pretty rusted, as is the pipe. And so I did call my local muffler shop, and I was able to order this stuff, everything I needed, for roughly about half of what the muffler shop was going to charge. So, you know, there's two reasons why you'd want to do this yourself. One, obviously to save a little bit of money. But two, if you live out somewhere where there's not really a local muffler shop close by, you could order this and handle it yourself. So that's what we're going to do. Now, obviously this is already off. So the next step is getting the rest of the muffler and exhaust pipe off. Now, these have got the rubber hangers that slide over these little brackets here. The easiest way I found to pull those off is to spray them down with some kind of oil, and they'll generally slide off pretty easy. Now, I do have a pry bar, and I highly recommend pry bar, big screwdriver, you know, whatever you got. And we're going to see how this is going to go. So let's see. I've got an impact for the bolts. I'm hoping the two bolts and springs that hold the front of that flange up against the other part of the exhaust pipe, I hope I'm able to get those out. They're not in the perfect condition. If we have to cut them off or drill them out, then I'll just have to run up and get those. They're not much more. They're about $10 for the pair. And what you get is two bolts and springs, and I'll show you that whenever we get up underneath there. But at this point, let me get set up. I'm going to get this stuff out of the way. I just kind of wanted to show how this hooks up, and then we'll get started. So other than the muffler with the tailpipe and then this intermediate exhaust pipe, the other two things that I bought was a muffler clamp, which is going to go right here, which is where this connects to, and then the gasket that goes in here. That's the only other two things that I bought. So 4 things total to be able to finish this. All the rubber hangers were in good shape. If you're missing one or yours are tore up, you'll want to replace those too. So we'll get underneath here and we'll start getting this taken out. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is spray all these down with some sort of oil. I just got some spray oil here, and I'm going to start in the back. That way I don't get this stuff dripped all over me. So there's two, with this particular vehicle, you've got two of these little rubber hangers in the back. Remember, the tailpipe has already fell off, so that's what initiated this whole deal. And I'm just going to oil them up really good. That way that's going to help them slide off. If you try to pull them off dry, you're going to be fighting them pretty good. Oil definitely makes a huge difference. And then here, all you got to do is take these two bolts out right here, and this flange will separate. Now they're kind of rusted, but they don't look like they're in too bad a shape, so I'm hoping they're going to come out in one piece. If not, I'll have to replace those. And then that's where the pry bar is going to come in over there. You just get up underneath here, and you can usually pop these rubber hangers down pretty easy. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to disconnect the pipe here. That way this muffler will be able to move back and forth as I'm prying these off. So that's the next step. Okay, so let's see how much luck we're going to have getting these bolts out. Alright. Those are 14 millimeter. I'm going to need to get a wrench or something to see if I can get it broke loose. Okay, so I got my handy dandy Harbor Freight extendable ratchet. Hopefully it holds up to the task. There we go. Well, I don't think it's coming. Well, maybe it is coming. Okay, let me get the light set up here. And we'll get the impact action going here. Alright, hopefully we'll be able to get those threaded back in there. So now that that's down, I have to pry that old gasket off. It's pretty bad shape. But now that the pipe's down, I'll be able to work those rubber hangers off a lot easier. And I guess the first one I'm going to go after, since there's only one up front here, that's the one I'm going to get first. And let's see what's going to be the easiest way. Okay, we got that one. Now we just got the two back ones, and then the muffler will be down. So I don't know if it's easier to actually take it off from this point or this point. Now this one is slid off better here, but I would lube both of them up, and whichever one ends up being the easiest is the way I would do it. Okay, so now I need to get those 2 back ones. And I'm gonna, let's see. Let me slide up it. Just got a mouthful of rust. I need to put the camera somewhere where you guys can see this for your entertainment. If nothing else, for your own entertainment. Okay, let me grab my other mount for this camera. Alright, so hopefully you can see that. I've already lubed them up. So let's see what we can do. Okay. Alright, now we're done with this hunk of junk. To get this old gasket off, I'm just going to take this pry bar and pop it off there, hopefully. There we go. And you could probably, maybe, if you can't get one of these, you can probably reuse that. I would try to get a new one if you can. This flange is kind of rusted up top here, but I think it'll be alright. And I ran a dye down just to clean those threads up on the bolts. So now what we're going to want to do is get the muffler hung first. So let me kind of get it up underneath here, and we'll get to going. Okay, so I think the easiest way to do this is I'm gonna fish this up over the axle. I'm gonna put the hanger on that the very aft one, and then this forward one, and then I'll slide the 2 hangers for those 2. Once this is up there and hung, I think that's going to be the easiest way. So let me get you set up to see all that. Okay, I'm going to put you guys back here. Now I'm going to come in from the front. Go ahead and put a hanger on this front. Then we're going to get a hanger back here on this back one. And like I say, the easiest thing to do just a little shot of lube. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. Now we just got those 2 up there to do. and then the pipe will just slide in. I'm hoping you guys can see that. Alright, the muffler's hung. And then the final position will be when this pipe is slid in here and then bolted up there. This is all CNC bent, mandrel bent tubing. So make sure you got your gasket for up front. Right now, there we go. Now, since the camera's already placed here, I'm going to go ahead and put this clamp on, and then we'll tighten it up later. Now, depending on your situation, you may or may not want to put your nuts on the bottom like this. And the reason is because if you ever want to take this off, depending on where this clamp's at, if you rub over a rock or something, it'll shave these down and prevent you from easily being able to get it off. In this case, if I rub over a rock to where it hits these, this whole exhaust and a lot of other stuff, drive shaft and everything else, is going to be taken out first. So down is going to be perfect for this application. Okay, so I'll tighten these up here in a minute, because the first thing you want to do is get this all hooked up, because obviously this pipe's going to go forward and bolt up. So of course the first thing is the gasket. Let me push that on there real good. And there's that. You do want the spring type bolts. This is supposed to flex. Hopefully you're seeing all this, but this does need to be able to move around when the engine torques and everything. You want this to, so don't just put a bolt and nut through here and clamp it up tight. There's a reason they've got these springs on it. guys are able to see this, right? Using a GoPro, can't really see the back of the camera. And that's what I was afraid of. The threads, whenever I backed this one out, they pulled the threads out of this nut. Now they make new bolt, and it's got a nut that goes on the end just for when this happens. And your auto parts stores have those. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to find a nut that'll fit on the end of this, so that whenever I push this on there, hopefully I can get a nut started on it. But I know you guys don't care to see that, but basically we've now got a new exhaust that's custom bent and made for this application, hung up here. And of course I got to tighten these up still. And it was so this whole exhaust was about $100 off Amazon for this vehicle. It was going to be right at $200 at the Muffler shop. So it's just like the factory. So anyway, I'm going to get the that other bolt situated, and then tighten the clamps up, and then this is a done deal. And then we'll start it up and we'll listen to it, make sure it's going to sound all right. Okay, so I got this all bolted up. Just kind of shake everything around, make sure that it's kind of positioned where it needs to be. Got the clamp on and ready to tighten. Have not tightened it yet. Everything looks good. Remember, you don't tighten these to where it just crushes the pipe. You just snug it up to where it's clamped snug, and you do it evenly. That's probably pretty good right there. Then you're done. All right. Time to start it up. Basically, here's the that's the old exhaust right there. Now we got all new on. Nice and quiet. It's always good. Just feel and make sure you don't have any major exhaust leaks. I didn't feel anything on that. And I don't feel anything back here. And that's it. 2011 Toyota Tacoma, new exhaust, ordered off Amazon. You guys take care. I will link the parts down in the description. This is a 2011 Tacoma with the V6. It's got the 4-liter engine in it. So the parts I list should work for that application. Just make sure that your year, make, and model and engine size is correct whenever you order your stuff, and you shouldn't have a problem. The only other thing that I ordered that it did not come with was a muffler clamp. I'll link to that also, in this gasket. I'll also put the links to the bolts and the springs. Now, I thought about ordering that, but I thought, hey, I'll just use what's on it. I wish I would have ordered them. If yours are still in good shape, you'll be good. These, like I said, pulled the threads out on the one whenever I impacted it out because they were pretty rusted. But anyway, I'll link to everything. Again, 2011 Toyota Tacoma with the 4-liter V6 engine. You guys take care.